Hello and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to take you through a demonstration on how you can use Node-RED's low-code, no-code approach to simplify the onboarding process for new users to IBM Security Verify platform from our third-party management tool, UMT, using a series of API calls. Just to note, we do have some pre-configured environment variables already set up. We'll start the demonstration by first creating 4 subflows before later combining them on the top level flow and running through the onboarding process. The first subflow we'll create is the Verify Get token, which will be used to request an access token from IBM's Security Verify. We'll start things off with an input node, and this is used to trigger the flow when we run it. Following that, we use a function node that we'll name initialize, and this includes some of our pre-configured variables that I mentioned earlier. Next, we add an HTTP request node to send a post request to the Verify API. We follow this with a function node, which is used to extract the access token. And finally, we add an output node and link the nodes together. The next subflow we create will be the UMT get token flow. We'll use this flow similarly to the Verify get token flow to request an access token from the UMT API. As you can see, the process is very similar in that we use the same 4 nodes to initialize the request, post the request, and then extract the token. Our next subflow is where things start to get interesting. We will call this subflow Get UMT Users. Here, we will use the access token to fetch the users stored in the UMT tool via an API call. As you can see, we use the same opening nodes as we did in the previous subflows, including an HTTP request to fetch the users. We then add a switch node to ensure that we iterate over the responses and collect all the users located in the UMT platform. If the process users is less than or equal to the payload count, the loop continues. Otherwise, it moves on with the flow. Our final flow is used to upload the collected users to Verify. We'll start this flow with 2 function nodes. The first is to initialize a count, and the second is to prepare the data for upload. A switch is then used to check if the data contains an email address that can be used as the username. If yes, we package the payload using another function node before using an HTTP request node to post the data. If no, we use another function node to package the data as an invalid user before processing the response. Finally, another switch is used to check the user count. If the total user count hasn't been met, the loop continues back through the set user process. If all users have been collected, we move to the final function node to collate the response. Now to put it all together on the top level flow. To trigger the flow, we use an HTTP in node that we set to a URL start load. This means that browsing to this URL will trigger the flow. We can see we have the option to add our new subflows directly to our top level flow from the left hand menu. This simplifies the process of creating the top level flow, as it's just a case of dragging and dropping the sub level flows in the correct order and adding some switches for error handling. Finally, we configure a function node to notify us that the upload has completed successfully. We then add an HTTP response node to show this in the browser. We can also group the nodes associated with the HTTP responses so that they are separate from the work done in the subflows. All that's left to do now is select Deploy in the top right corner and navigate to the Start Load endpoint on the browser to begin the upload. Let's have a go and see what happens. As you can see, we are now processing over 170 UMT users in real time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it useful, and hopefully it will inspire you to think of ways Node-RED could be used to simplify your business processes.